And we are live. Welcome to Glamorous Closet, guys. Oh, there I am. Hi. Hi to any of you who are out there. Hello, this is Glamma. Getting ready I'm gearing up for my birthday week. So I just did like a deep conditioning treatment on my hair. It's still a little damp. So here we go with the baseball cap. Hey, Santa Claus. Here comes Santa Claus. Here comes Santa Claus. Right down Santa Claus Lane. I like this lane ride. Hello to the North Pole and all of the denizens of the North. Hello, hello, hello. Aisha Dancer. Hello, Kristen. It's good to see you tonight. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, there's Adam with his exploits. Hello, Hello, Dana. Hello, Adam. I'm Dana. Hello, Adam. How you doing? Good to see you here tonight. Thank you so much for being here. I wanted to talk about like scary things and spooky stories tonight, right? Tomorrow is Halloween and we're going to go I'm going trick-or-treating with my glam babies. I want to do this type of thing with them while they're still young enough to do it. So it's going to be fun. I have a Tigger costume that is really warm and has the giant Tigger head. So, and I got that from Mark and Mike, the two old guys vintage. So I'm going to wear that. It's going to be nice and warm. And we have beers, of course. So the glam parents are going to be, and the aunties and uncles are going to be walking along with the kids, drinking the beers. And yeah, there's nothing that says Halloween like a good drinking in public. Hey, Lilith, how you doing? How you doing, baby girl? Thank you so much for being here. Lilith, I hope that you are doing well. I hope that you're doing great. Where are they? There we are. Hey, Lindsay and Alvin, what's up? What is up? It's the middle of the night where you are, boo-boo. Thank you so much for staying up for me. I appreciate you. Ronnie Mitka, what's up? Little gangster tonight, right? A little hip hop, got that down. I'm about that life. I'm not about that life. I'm not about any life like that. A little bit, probably. I do have a 9. I don't know if that counts or not. Yeah, I wanted to talk about like scary stuff because here's the thing, and it's not just scary stuff, but like creepy stuff kind of, and like ghost stories and stuff because I have to tell you guys, share with me like if you have like a creepy story or something kooky or something paranormal or something, anything like that that's happened to you, or anything that you've heard of, or if you've heard of a really spooky story, share that with me. I love it. Hey, Swampy, how you doing, baby boy? Hi. I hope everything is going really well down in the swamps. Nothing says happy Halloween quite like a Christmas tree does. According to my husband, that is true. He literally passed me a note while I was on live last night. And he's like, hey, we need a new Christmas tree. Don't forget, you have to go Christmas tree shopping. And I'm like, oh, crap, I have to do that. I don't have to do it this week, but it has to be done pretty soon. And the Christmas trees just came out, so I want to get a good one. So I'm going to have to go Christmas tree shopping, probably Home Depot or Lowe's or something. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. So I do have I have a few interesting stories. I'm not sure if they're spooky. But this actually happened to me. So when I was 19, my younger sister, not Aunt Boo, obviously, but my younger sister passed away in an accident. And so it was really, really difficult for my whole family, me, Ambu, my brother, my parents, of course. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. So she passed away in August. And about 3 months later, towards the end of October, actually, maybe 2.5, yeah, about almost 3 months, because she passed away in early August. So about 3 months later, I was just grieving and grieving. I was laying in my parents' bed taking a nap, just grieving really hard that day for some reason. It was just, it was sort of just me just getting there. And the funny thing is, so I'm like laying down, and I'm like, if you're there in the afterlife, give me a sign, right? And I'm like, just let me know that you're okay, but don't make it scary, because I'm a spooky Irishman, and I hadn't grown my lady balls yet. So I took my nap, and as I'm waking up, when we were growing up, my sister and I had to sleep in the same bed. That's what poor kids do. They sleep in the same bed. So my sister and I had a full-size bed, and we had to sleep in the same bed. And so whenever I was laying on my left side, and if she was behind me, she'd throw her arm across my waist. It just happens when you're sleeping. And vice versa. When I'd roll over, we'd both roll over, and I'd throw my arm across her waist. And as little kids, that's just what we did. And as I was waking up from that deep sleep, I felt an arm across my waist. And it didn't scare me. It didn't feel unnatural. It just felt like she was right there. Like she was just telling me everything's going to be okay. And that was the last time I cried. I knew she was okay. And it was a very warm and comforting and wonderful feeling, which not spooky, but it was a little creepy, right? Like I just literally, I felt her arm right there. I felt her right there. It was very strange. Like there was just, if I would have reached down, I felt like there would have been an arm there. So yeah, that was one of those weird stories that, you just never know. Hey, Dodo. I'm just inviting everybody to share their spooky stories, or if something spooky happened to them. If something spooky did happen to you, let me know. I'll send you a link, and you can come on and tell everybody about it too. Patrick and Veronica already have a link. And Kristen, I'll be happy, or any of you really, just be happy to send one on Instagram or whatever. George, hello. You just missed my spooky story. Another weird story, and I've always had like a really close relationship with my siblings. Another weird story was I was in my early 20s, and my older brother, who is 2.5 years older than me, he was living in Alexandria, Virginia. So he was living across the country on the East Coast, and I'm living in Missouri. And I was, and I woke up in the morning, and I got the overwhelming urge. I just felt a strong sense of urgency that I had to call him, like right away. And so I went in the other room, because we didn't have, I didn't have a cell phone back then. They didn't really have a lot of cell phones back then yet. So I went in the other room, and I picked up the phone, and I called his number, and it rang and rang and rang. And I hung up, and I thought, try it one more time. I just got that strong sense of urgency. I called him back, and it rang like probably 6 times. And finally he picked up the phone, and he's like, oh my God, thank God you called. And I said, what's going on? And he's like, he was getting his husband ready for work. And the iron that he irons clothes with from the closet fell down on his head and conked him in the head. And he was about to pass out. He was about to not pass out like immediately, but like it had happened, and he saw stars, and it felled him. And then he got up, and he went about his business. But then he all of a sudden he got really, really tired, and he sat down. And he was about to go to sleep. And I said, you need to go to the hospital right away. And he went to the hospital, and he had a concussion. And if he would have gone to sleep, he could have been in real danger. I just honestly, it was a very, very strange sort of connection that I have with my, the one with my passed away sister and the other one with my brother. So yeah. Dodo, I will send you a link. I don't have any personal spooky stories, but my mom and my brother do. I don't know if they'd want them shared though. We can always say things like allegedly or not use their real names or something too, if you prefer. Where is Dodo on my list? Hang on, Dodo. I'm about to drop my link for you. Yeah, if anybody wants to come on and tell a spooky story, do it. Okay, Dodo, there's my link. I don't believe in ghosts, but I have had a few weird spooky instances. Ooh, George. George, do I have you on Instagram? I feel like I do. I don't know. I feel like if I don't, I really, really should. There you are. It's under George E. Okay, George, I'm going to send you a link too. Come on and tell me a story. And Aisha Dancer, I can send you a link if you want. If you haven't already, get Marianne Winkowski's book, The Ghost Whisperer. She talks to similar things to the story you shared. Yeah, it was just, it was like I said, I asked her, I said, what freaks me out, don't freak me out. And she did. And I feel like it was a message from her. I really feel like it was a message from her. But, I'm not like one of those woo-woo people either. I'm not like, ooh, it's all spirits and ghosts. I'm not that guy. But I do believe that there are more things on heaven and earth than we ever really know about, Horatio. I'd still rather know that they'd be okay with me sharing. Okay. Understood. Hey, Lindsay and Alvin, did I say hello? And Dodo? I think I said hello to everybody. If I missed anybody, please know that I humbly apologize. Now, here's a scary story. I was in Las Vegas, and we went to a casino called the D, and I found my way to the gift shop. Glamour and a few cocktails in a gift shop in Vegas is super scary, and especially when they sell hats like this. They actually sold me this. I was like, yes, we do love the D. I was like, I must have this hat. Hi, Glenn. I was just watching a video about a casino in LA. I'll be darned. I just had that one instance with my grandmother's pre-antebellum home in the Erie under the stairs bathroom. Yeah, you were telling me about that it was like creepy. You did say hello, but we will take 2. Oh, cool. That was 3 cools or 4. I'm not sure. Glenn, I was just watching a video about a casino in LA. Yeah, when I was growing up, for the first 7 or 8 years of my life, we lived in this 3-story home that my parents bought because a lot of people were buying up homes like that in the 70s, and you could get one for like $2,500. It was ridiculous. So they bought like this 3-story home that needed a lot of work. And we moved into it before the work began. And my dad was like like I said, I grew up poor. So my dad did all the work. And he, some of it was just duct tape and a wish, honestly. So it was an interesting house though, to be a little kid in. And it was always very, very spooky. It was always kind of one of those houses. And the basement was just absolutely friggin' like dark brick. Oh, it was so scary. It was so moldy. And I just loved it. Patrick Murphy, hello, my brother from another mother. I would like for everybody to please give a big warm welcome to one of the cutest things on YouTube ever. This is Georgie. What's up, Georgie? Mwah, hello.
You all right? How are you?
I'm good. I'm telling spooky stories. Moo.
Do you know,
Just
I was contemplating whether to turn off all the lights and then get my torch and do that. Like
heck
jump
yeah.
up and go, hello.
Yeah,
How are you? You all right? It's
I'm good.
nighttime here. It's like 1:45 in the morning and I couldn't sleep again.
Yeah, I was what anytime I'm on late at night and I see my my UK friends in the chat, I'm like, oh man, you guys are up so late. It's like
My body
2:45.
clock is totally out of whack at the moment.
Mine too.
It's weird, isn't it? Well, you're ill, so I can kind of understand like whether you're still recovering from your cold.
Yeah, exactly. So I will go to sleep and then I'll wake up like 2 hours later and I just like get up in the middle of the night and I'm like, okay, well, I guess it's me and YouTube for the next 4 hours until the date, until the stores open or something.
Yeah.
So,
It's
George,
that
have you ever
ice
had
cream stuff.
anything slightly spooky happen?
Yeah, so I'm a skeptic. I don't really believe in this kind of stuff. However, it does kind of freak me out. Like, like this ghost stories and like, horror movies and all that. It does kind of freak me out, even though I'm kind of like whatever about it. And I don't really believe it. Like I can walk through like a graveyard at night, not but but there's certain things that have freaked me out in the past. And I have lived in some really weird places. I lived in a converted church when I was in my second year at university.
Wait a minute.
My
Wait a
third
minute.
year
Let
at
me put
university.
Okay, tell us all about it.
I'm on the big screen.
Yeah, I'm gonna smoke a cigarette while you do that. So.
Oh right, okay. Yeah. So I there was. Oh, which one should I tell? I've got like three essentially.
Tell
Should
them
I tell you
all.
should I tell you the most recent one?
You tell every single one of them. And hello, Jennifer Hayes. We love you.
I'll tell you the most recent one, and it's to do with this house. This house is an old house. It's an old. It's like we call it a bungalow. Do you know what a bungalow is? It's kind of like a one-story house.
Right.
Like a ranch house, kind of
right.
It's extended, kind of like out. Anyway, but it was built in like the 20s and 30s, and it's had the same owner since. And what they've done is it was their house, their parents' house, and the children inherited it. But the brother has got custody of it basically, and he rents it out, and he's only rented it out like about 2 or 3 times, and one of them was to a load of builders who were building like a motorway, like a freeway near us, and so he rented it out to them, and we're like the second people to actually live in it that aren't family. And I was like, okay, it's a bit kind of like I had a really nice feeling walking in. I think that's a good sign. You have a really nice feeling when you walk into a new property. It's like it's very dated, it's very nice though, and it's got its quirks. It's very quirky, and I like that. It's very kind of but occasionally, and usually at night, because I'm in the garage, which is like it's attached to the kitchen, which is like right on that side of the wall. There's a cubby hole that goes from the kitchen into the dining area, and we usually just have it open. But every now and then I walk in and I feel like somebody sat at the table watching me. That's the freakiest kind of like feeling. Yeah,
Holy
just
shit.
every now and then. It's usually at night. During the day it's fine, but at night time, usually when I go to bed and I have to go through the kitchen, I walk and I don't look directly into it, but I swear I didn't see. I feel like I saw like a shadow outline of somebody sat at the kitchen at the table looking through, and I'm getting goosebumps. Like, can you say I'm getting goosebumps?
I'm getting goosebumps.
Talking about it. It's like I don't believe in this, but I kind of must do. And also the parents who lived here, they lived here until they were in their I think they were in their 80s until they passed away. 80s or 90s. They were quite old. Anyway, every now and then.
This is like my childhood. I'm eating peanut butter and jelly and listening to scary stories.
Every now and then I walk to the front. My bedroom is like right at the front of the house, so I have to walk down this like corridor, and it's not spooky. But there's no light, so I kind of like run really quickly. I walk really quickly, and the dog's usually behind me because he sleeps in my room. But like every now and then, and apparently it's like a cold kind of like feeling when I walk past a certain part of the corridor,
Oh,
and it smells. Do you know how like old people have like a smell?
yeah, like old Avon perfume or something. Yep. Old Avon
Kinda, yeah.
perfume and
But then
Bouquet or like a little moldy.
yeah, but then also like mixed in with a little bit of wee.
Yeah.
It
Like
kind
it's
of
been
got that kind of like
fermented.
scent.
Mhm.
Well, I can smell that, and it's at nighttime. It's not during the day, but it's at nighttime, and it's only a fleeting smell. But I don't feel like any sort of animosity. You know, I don't feel like they're going to attack me. I just feel like if it is the parents and they passed away in that house, like that's fine and everything. But I've been watching it. Does anybody watch Sam and Colby, the Ghost Hunters? I love them.
Oh,
They've
I
just done a
watched.
series
Okay,
in the Conjuring House.
if you haven't seen it, on Saturday Night Live one time, Hugh Laurie was on Saturday Night Live, and they did like a parody of like the Ghost Hunters where everybody had like the red eyes and it was all the infrared camera. And then they were like, "Ooh, it's a ghost," and he had just farted. And like everybody's like, "Oh my god, I can smell it! It's the ghost! It's from hell!" Blah 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 blah. And he's like, "Okay, no, I just farted. I just farted! Damn!" It was so funny. It was like the
I
funniest
love
thing
it.
ever.
We had something called Most Haunted over here. It was like a TV show with ghost hunters. It was in the late 90s, early noughties, and it's been parodied a lot. It's so funny. It's so ridiculous, and these
I
people
love it.
genuinely believe it, and like they channel
Oh
the
yeah,
ghost in it. This
yeah.
fella, Lindsay and Alvin all know who they are. Like Derek Akora, his name was. He's passed away since, but he would channel energies and he'd be like talk to the ghost like, and it was more funny than it was like serious.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, Deb said, "Hi, Deb." She said, "It's the spoof of Most Haunted." Yeah. Now,
Oh, so
Deb
it was
actually
like
went to someplace scary recently, and I was like, "You are a braver woman than I," because that thing looked like a death house. I mean, it just looked like you could walk in and just get stabbed.
oh my god,
And
where was
she went
this?
there. Deb, I think it was last weekend. Deborah, if you want me to send you a link, hit me up on Instagram and I will send you a link and you can come on and tell everybody about it. It was spooky as hell. I was looking at the picture. I was like, Deb, you're a braver woman than I am. That scares me to death. I also think I saw Not Glenn come into the chat. Hey, Not Glenn. That was a going joke.
Deb says, "I love prisons."
I love prisons.
Like Alcatraz, you
Yeah.
can walk around
So
there,
do most
can't
of
you?
my cousins, but probably just to stay there. Just because
Yeah,
they
you
love
have like
that
things
as
like that.
well.
You can do like ghost hunting trips. I think there's actually one up the road from me. There's one of I've forgotten the name. It's like a really haunted building, and they hold it's £50 though, from between 8 at night until 2 in the morning, and you go around the house and do seances and stuff. But it's like
Oh,
£50
Lord.
like a session, and it's a bit kind of like I don't know. I can get to another country for £24. I'm fine.
I remember as a kid, I grew up in an evangelical household. So you can imagine, like, it wasn't about the ghost, it was about like, demons and devils and all that stuff. It was a handful. And then I grew up and I was like, what?
It's like,
But back then I was afraid to listen to the White Album.
You're afraid to listen to the White Album?
Oh yeah, definitely, because the Beatles said that they were better than Jesus or bigger than Jesus. And so therefore the Beatles were possessed by the devil. And yeah.
I love the moral panic of like rock music or like metal music of the early 90s. You know, when they say, "Oh, if you play it backwards, it says Hail Satan," and it's like, no, it doesn't. You've just projected it onto it. It's like, yeah, it's silliness. But
There you
yeah,
are, yeah, I'm going to paste my link in for Deb too. I want Deb to come on and tell us all about that scary whatever that was. She went into, I'm telling you, it was like this old brick house and it was like covered with vines and it looked like, I mean, it was like a 2-story or 3-story house. It was scary to death. Hey, Raquel,
no.
how you doing? Yeah. And she went there on purpose. I was like, dude, no, thank you. No, thank you.
the previous house that I was staying at, this is like the second story. I'm going backwards in time.
No,
The
it's okay.
previous
Keep
house, I had it was like there was a garage next to the house, but it had like a mezzanine in the garage. I'm sure some of my old videos might pop up, but like it was very similar to this, but you could go upstairs and it had like an open kind of thing where you could like a hat. And
Oh,
ever since I lived in that house, that is one house I felt real, and it was a new build, so it was a bit kind of like, oh, I felt really like I felt like I was being watched. Like there was some kind of like feeling like I wasn't welcome, you know. And
yeah.
when I was up in the mezzanine, I was moving some stuff around, and it's like it's wooden, and all I heard was like this, this shit. No, it was this. Underneath where we were sitting, I could feel the vibrations underneath where. So it felt like
Cool.
someone was literally stood downstairs in the garage, tapping on the thing. So because I was sat like where the hallways, where the hatch was. I bent my head down. No one was there. I just thought that's just silliness. It's something. Anyway, I started moving but I was looking for because I had orders in there, and that's where I stored all my orders. And I was
Mhm.
like looking for stuff, and I felt it again. It happened again. I was like, nope. Nope. I ran downstairs. I was like, nope, nope, nope. But that
Yeah,
is
I would
like
have been
it
Scooby Doo
felt
out of there. I would have been
yeah, it
gone.
felt like I'm quite attuned to my feelings, and I was like, no, I felt like I shouldn't be there. It was that kind
Mhm.
of feeling like my body took over, and I was like, no, I've got to go. Like something's not right here, and I was
Yeah.
like, nope, going. But
Mm-mm.
yeah, ever since I've all the time that I lived there for 2 years, it was like I did work in there quite a lot, but it was like during the day, at night time, around 6 o'clock, I never went in because I was just too kind of like, ugh. It gave me the
Yeah, I'd be
heebies,
like, "Sorry,
heebie-jeebies.
after dark, you can sod off. I'm done."
Yeah,
Like,
essentially.
that's you over there.
If you don't want
Yeah,
me in your space, that's fine.
right? I did have a weird incident happen just a few weeks ago, actually. And I'm not sure if it's spooky, but it was weird. I was babysitting my granddaughter, and she's an infant. She's not an infant, but she's like 6 months old. So she was snuggled up in my arms for a nap, and I have like a recliner that like rocks. So I was rocking her in the recliner, and we were just having some nice grandma baby snuggle time. And then she woke up and she stretched out. And she usually, when she wakes up, it takes her a few minutes to wake up, and she'll just kind of look around. And then all of a sudden her eyes got really wide, and she stretched out, and she's been learning how to say like hi whenever people
Wow.
come and go. She stretched out and looked over in the corner, and she was doing this, and she was staring at something in the corner behind me, and there was nothing over there. Not even the dogs were over there.
Oh my
And then she
god.
started talking baby talk to it, and I'm like, "That's it, that's it." So I just stood up and took her in the other room. I was like, "No, I am
It's like
not
we're
going to
going to
end
Chuck E. Cheese.
up." Yeah, I was like,
We're
I'm
going.
scared of death. Oh,
Oh
yay! Okay,
no.
Deborah's here. She's going to tell us all about her
Oh,
thing. Oh, there's a French shirt. Do you love it?
Isn't that
nice.
funny? I
It
love
took
them.
everything I had to sell that thing. I got to be honest. I was so ready to keep it. I was like, man, if nobody wants it, please.
Hello, nice to meet you, George.
Hi,
George,
Dad.
this is Deborah. Deborah, this is George.
Hi, I just got done doing a Halloween collab, so okay, all done. But
Yeah.
good to meet you. Oh my gosh, yeah. I wonder if I'll be able to pull up some pictures, and I could show you. We caught shadow people before. I'm not sure if I'll be able to pull it
No.
up or not,
Uh-oh.
but
Oh.
crazy. Yeah, this camera. Sorry, I had to move it.
My son, actually, my youngest son is 20, I guess he's 26 now. And he gets night terrors, and
Oh no.
yeah, and he's Mr. Shadow People, and he was scared to death to sleep. To this day, he'll sleep with like a little light on.
Oh wow.
And this man was in
I've
the
got a nightlight.
he was a United States Marine for 5 years, and
I
he
believe
still
it.
sleeps with a little light on.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah, I go to some crazy places.
Yeah, you got to tell us all about it. Deb, I'm going to put you up here on solo for a second so I can continue to smoke my cigarette.
Okay. Hey, you guys. I'm going
to be honest about what I'm doing. I'm totally transparent.
My camera is like, wait. I had to set it up because I was doing jewelry over here. So don't mind me if I'm not looking at you. It's because my computer, I had to use a different camera. But yeah, I'm a paranormal investigator, and we travel all over the United States. We do a lot of homes. We investigate everywhere and anything. And I'm part of paranormal clergy. So what we do is we investigate, and we get cases that I would call them not demonic necessarily, but nasty spirits. And if we can't help them, we will put them with a shaman if they need a shaman, a rabbi. We will put them with if they need a Catholic priest, if there's something not.
Deb, I gotta interrupt and just say that sounds like the beginning of the best joke ever. A shaman, a Catholic priest, and a rabbi walk into a bar.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
Okay, go ahead. Finish.
Yeah. So, so we work all over the United States. I get a lot of cases from people in, I don't know why. I mean, we're the Illinois paranormalists, and they call us here in Illinois. It's pretty funny, but all over the U.S. So we'll put them with, if they need a priest, or even if they're Wiccan, we'll put them with a Wiccan priestess. We'll find somebody to help them out. And out of all the cases I've ever done, we have had one case that I had to send to the Diocese of Indianapolis. And that's where the shadow person was. And
tell us the whole story.
I can tell you some of it. It was a private home. It was a house that used to be a rectory for a church next door. And we were there, and they rescued animals, but the animals that they had rescued needed to be rescued from that house, if you guys know what I mean.
Yeah.
It was pretty sad. So we went in there, we're in the basement, and we keep hearing this like walking. You could hear it on, like, how basements sometimes have like loose cement. So we could hear somebody walking around. And sure enough, we looked up and we saw a shadow person standing there, and we actually saw him, and he moved towards us and went up the stairs, and we were lucky enough to catch it. So I don't know if I'll be able to pull up any of those pictures, because I have them on.
Please, Lord, pull up the picture.
Yes, I have them on a presentation, but when I try to share them, I would have to send it to your email, and you'd have to pull it up. So let me see if I can find it in here. It's going to take me a minute. Okay. But yeah, it was crazy. So we got EVPs out of there too. And it was so strange. That's all I can say. But I got called nasty things. Okay, let me see if I can open these.
While we're waiting for that, we've got a question from the chat. Yes. Swampy wants to know if you've ever been to Myrtle's plantation in Louisiana.
Myrtle's I have not been to, but
is it famous for something? Is it famous for being haunted?
Very haunted, very haunted. Yes. I see. I don't think, can I share my screen with you, or I don't think I can.
Oh yeah, you can. Just hit share, just hit present and then share screen.
Yeah, it should. Last time I tried to do that, it wouldn't let me. So okay.
Oh, I hope it does. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, and then I just add this to the stage.
Yes.
Here we go. Hold on.
Yep. So we're in that basement, and my friend, who just unfortunately passed 2 days ago, is also in here. I don't know if it can, I can't make it any bigger. You'll see her shadow like on the far right.
Okay, now I'm going to have a nutty bar.
Yeah, the lights are behind us. And so her shadow is over here. Or sorry, her shadow is on this side. But if you look straight back into that basement, you see there's supposed to be 4 windows, like 4 block windows. We only see 3. So you can see the outline. Yeah, I don't think I can show it on here. Can you guys see my cursor? Okay. So right here is supposed to be 4 windows. There is 3 windows showing.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I see it.
Right here. Yeah. All right. And so then Let me go to the next one. So we hear this walking and we are hearing this like grumbling sound. So here's the next one. So here he moves towards us right here.
Holy mother of God. This is awesome.
You can see now a little bit more of the windows, but you can see this door is getting blocked here. And then he turns and goes up the stairs. It was crazy.
Whoa.
I have EVPs. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear them.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to hear them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
are you okay, George?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on.
I don't know how loud this is going to go. I don't know if they'll be able to hear it, but I'll try to play it. Let me turn my volume up. We'll see if you guys can hear anything. I think this one's at 10 seconds.
Did you live here in this home, or are you here from the church?
You heard it.
Oh my God.
So we got a male going church. And that's it. I think it's at 10 seconds. I'll play it again. I know it's hard to hear because these are always hard to hear.
Did you live here in this home, or are you here from the church?
Yeah.
This is so fun.
Yes, because you'll hear us asking questions. So whenever we do EVPs, we keep them longer so people have a context of what we're doing. So sometimes you'll hear us walking. If someone sniffles, you'll hear us say sniffle. You'll hear us say sniffle.
Grandma's is, and George is like, I hope I can sleep tonight.
That's right.
Cameron said,
that's right, Cameron.
Yeah, so this was also in the basement, and I think it's at
sorry,
22.
I was just talking about Cameron. He just put like I heard George.
Yeah. I can play this one. I think it's at 22. I don't have my note. I don't know where I put my note. It's here somewhere. It's probably in my garbage bag, but let me go ahead and play it. And I think you'll hear something. You'll hear people talking, but then you're going to hear something really weird.
Oh, God.
I love it.
Sniffling.
So
if it's a fart, I'm going to piss my pants.
No, so it sounds like a little kid going, hello. And then right about 2 seconds after that, it's like we have some under breathy kind of going. So I'll play it again. I think it's at 22. So yeah, so you'll hear this kind of hello. It's really weird.
I love you so much, George.
So, yeah, it's coming up.
Oh, we're all like sitting here with like our ears to the camera.
Oh, yeah. I can hear the hello.
Yeah, it's like hello. And then you hear this. It's the weirdest thing. We still don't know what that second thing said.
Oh, God.
I love it.
Yeah, and then we got,
oh, it's just my dad. It's fine.
Spooky story time. Yeah, can you play it one more time?
Yes. Yep. Let me go back to number 2. So
Did somebody just come in and scare the crap out of you?
Yeah, it just scared the SHIT out of me. Go away.
Yeah. Okay. I'll play it again.
Time.
So it's at like 22, and then at 24, you'll hear that kind of. We don't even know what it is.
Okay. Listening.
Sniffling.
Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
Yeah.
That
And
is very strange.
we always play it longer so people have an idea of what's going on, because if we cut just one part, you're going to be like, well, what were you doing? So we always play the longer. You'll hear my friend say sniffling, because if you fart, we say fart, because when you're listening with headphones later and you're trying to figure out what it is, you want to make sure nobody's whispering. You want to make sure it wasn't the furnace turning on. There was no kid. That was at 1:30 in the morning. And it was just our
Wow.
team. The family members had left the house. So it's
Mhm.
weird. It's kind of like a hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Jennifer said, did it say hello like Johnny?
Yeah. Really.
Hello.
And this one, I cannot remember where
Cajun.
this EVP is. Let's see. This one, I think, is at 6 seconds. Right. So you hear us talking, and then it's like somebody's talking under you. And that's how most of the EVPs we get is we'll be holding a conversation like this, but somebody's over here and it sounds like they're way, like way down here. So not sure. It's just weird. It's strange. But I have some good ones from Villisca Axe Murder House.
Oh my God.
That's in Iowa. It's by
They actually call it the Axe Murder House.
that's what it's called. Villisca Axe Murder House.
God.
June 10th, 1912. Josiah Moore and his wife and 4 of their kids and their 2 nieces were axe murdered.
You know what? With a name like Josiah, I bet it was him.
Yeah. So there were 2 or
For
2
real.
they thought it was a traveling preacher that did it, and he was tried twice but got off twice. So it's still considered not, it's still an open case. So I'm showing you this slide because if you see there, you see Josiah and his wife, Sarah, their 4 kids, and then there's 2 girls, their nieces. So Lena, remember that name, Lena Stillinger.
I won't forget it. It's my brother's drag name.
I love it. Yeah. So Lena Stillinger, God, this camera's going to bug the crap out of me. There we go. Lena Stillinger and Ina Stillinger. So we caught EVPs in that house that I can play, and you can pretty much hear them. Trying to remember what this first one is. We don't know what it says. It's a lot of people thought it said help me. But you can hear the air conditioner running. They had one of those plug-in air conditioner units. So we had it on because it was like 120 degrees in that house. But it kind of sounds like an elongated help me, but we don't know, so that's like a class B. If you can't really understand it, we call it a class B EVP. But I can play it again, and it's whispery. They're always whispery. It pisses me off.
You
Like,
want full poltergeist kind of thing.
right?
Right.
All the poltergeistesses are shy.
Yeah,
Screw you, shy ones.
exactly.
Why don't the bold ones ever stick around? That does kind of sound like help me.
Right. And we normally would not tell anyone what we think it says, but that one's so hard because we don't want to make you bias. Like if I say it said the sky is burning, you might hear that. So usually we play the EVP. We don't tell people what it says. But just remember for this one, the name Lena, and you should hear it somewhere in there twice. You guys know what a ghost box is?
Is that no?
It's okay. So in the
I'm
old
like,
days,
is it? You know what? No, I'm not even gonna try.
yeah,
You gotta tell
we
me.
use a transistor radio where the wires are cut. So what it does is it makes a radio station go, it hops. So it'll go through all the different channels. So we cut the transistor radio wires and it'll make the radio go. So Like if we're in Chicago and we hear the word Cubs, to me, we know it's not an EVP because, of course, we're in Chicago. They're going to talk about the Cubs. But when you're in a site like that and you have the radio jumping, and I can't remember what speed they had it at that night.
If you're in St. Louis Cardinal country too, and you hear the word Cubs, they're possessed. Yeah, we'll call an old priest and a young priest. We're not scared. Yeah.
Yeah. So this one, you're going to hear one of the Stillinger girls' names.
Stupid Cubs.
And you're going to hear the first one as the radio is going, and you're going to hear a mechanical sound, and then you're going to hear a whisper at the end. Okay. I think it's this one. It might be the next one. I think it's this one.
There's 2 girls in this house the night of June 9th. Can you tell me the names of those 2 girls that were not part of your family?
What?
So you hear the radio station going. It's supposed to do that. It's white noise. We're generating white noise. So right when it sounds like a piano key, and you hear Lena, and then about 2 seconds after that, it's a whispered girl saying Lena. So I'll play it again.
Okay.
There's 2 girls in this house the night of June 9th. Can you tell me the names of those 2 girls that were not part of your family?
Yeah. 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 So it was wild. It's always wild because most of the time we go on these investigations and we don't get EVPs. You know, it's very rare that we get so many. But
wow.
We did get one where they told us to F you. So I don't know if you want to play that on there or not.
Come on.
Okay.
Let's get
the ghost told you to F off.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I want to hear
Rude.
it.
Okay.
Rude. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I
that one
want
I do want to hear.
Yeah, you'll hear it. It sounds like a male. That's all I'll say.
That sounds like my kind of. That's the kind of ghost I would be.
Yeah, and you're going to hear us talking, and you're going to hear us asking questions, and then it's towards the end. So we'll play it.
Bug off.
We didn't want to ask questions. We just wanted to come in here and play. We wanted you guys to play with us. You guys want to play with us, and now we got to just ask questions.
Right there.
Somebody here?
Yeah, so I think that one's like at around 22 seconds. Let me see if I can find it.
Cameron said, why don't you play this one first?
Yeah, I think it's at 22 seconds. Let me see. Okay, it's at 20 seconds. So I'll turn it from the beginning. So you'll hear my friend Tom asking questions. So remember, we're there and we're trying to engage with 6 children that were murdered. So we sit on the floor. We have Jenga. We play games with them to try to interact with them because we're all parents that were there. And so, you treat them like they're a kid. And so it was not a kid's voice that said that to us, but
because I was like, one of those kids has a potty mouth. One of those kids needs a spanking or a timeout or something.
Yeah, so it's at 20.
We didn't want to ask questions. We just wanted to come in here and play. We wanted you guys to play with us. You guys want to play with us, and now we got to just ask questions.
Right there. So.
Somebody here?
Yeah, so it's always wild. I'll pull that off now. Those are the orbs. Those are the orb pictures, but yeah, I'll pull it off. But yeah, it's crazy because you go to these places like Waverly Hills Sanatorium in Louisville is my favorite place. I've been there 7 times. And it was a tuberculosis hospital. So of course, tons of people died there because it was TB, and
what? Sorry, I'm choking.
Yeah. So it was crazy. We always get stuff there, but there's sometimes you go, you get nothing. And then most of the time we'll be talking like this. And if we have a recorder going, that's when they're chiming in. And it's like, hey, and it just sucks that we can't we are a scientific group, but you can't prove anything because you can't have it. I can't say, okay, wait 5 minutes till I get my camera and then come back. We can't reproduce it. And so,
well, they must be children because every time I'm on the phone, that's when my children need my attention. So, yeah.
yep.
It must be kids. They're like, oh, you're on the phone. Oh, you're busy talking. Here, can I get some grapes? That's what they're doing. They're like, can I have a cookie?
Where's my t-shirt?
Yeah,
right. Where's my t-shirt? I thought I had clean socks. Where's my clean socks?
Yeah, it's wild. But that one where we were in the basement, that's the one case we gave to the Diocese of Indianapolis.
Oh God,
over
yes.
to the demonologist and everyone over there. So, but only one case, and I've been doing this since 1999. Have we ever had something that was nasty or something that wasn't, because I always tell people, if you think you have a haunting, don't be scared, because think of them as a human, right? Just without a body. Treat them like you're in their house. So we'll go into these houses and we introduce ourselves. We make sure that we tell them, we'd like to ask some questions. We ask, and we never provoke. So, yeah, it's wild.
Deborah, thank you so much for sharing that with us. That was fun. That was fun. By the way, hi, Ryan. And hello to Myra. I thought I saw Myra in the chat. And I'm not sure who else came in. But Cameron, you are hilarious. Yeah, Patrick Murphy, welcome to the live. Do you have any stories to share about being married to Satan?
Well, I mean,
who's married to
I wasn't married. Let's just say I ran with the devil.
Okay. You ran with the devil. Running with the devil.
No, I had to come into the back room to get a better hearing of those audio files. Now, Deb, maybe it's something we need to talk about private. I would love to actually. Do you take those audio files, break them down so you can see the waveforms?
We can, but we don't like to go in and like amplify anything, because then it's kind of killing, because we had one time I was with a group and they faked evidence. And ever since then, we leave it pure. So we cut it. But yeah, we can see the wavelengths and we can amplify it to hear it a little better, but we just don't like to mess with the raw audio. But yeah, I mean, it's cool because sometimes especially when it's, the white noise going, the radio stations are the best. We have the best time with that. But yeah, you can see it.
Because that one that you had where I think was the FU one, and you're like, right here, I heard something before that.
Yes.
And I would actually like to see. I mean, what I would do is I would keep the raw preserve, right?
May have been more cursing, though. You never know. They could have just been like, FU could have been like the cherry on the cursing sundae. They could have been cussing her out so hard.
I can send you the file.
Right?
Yeah, I would actually like. What I would do is I would preserve the master, but then I'd make a copy of the master, and then I would use that for my audio, what have you, so I could go in, take a look at the actual waveform. That would be cool.
Right. Yeah, we had someone that was very techie. He used to do that. So we'd send him our raw stuff. And we always, and everyone says, well, why don't you cut it down to 2 seconds? Because then no one has an idea of what we're doing before.
Right. No, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
George is like, I'm never gonna sleep again. Shadow people got no rhythm.
I tell you, George, shadow people are freaky. Waverly Hills Sanatorium. There, we saw the creeper and 4 other ones. They came running at us. So it's myself. It was a Chicago police officer, his son, who's a paramedic, and an electrical engineer. And so we're down by the morgue. My friend Tina owns Waverly, and she had opened up the area by the morgue on the first floor for us. And we had these 4 shadow people. We could see them come out of the doorways, come towards us. One went down, and they're called creepers when they do that. They hit all 4s, and then they can go on the walls and on the ceiling. and it comes running at us. So all four of us see this thing, and your normal instinct is to go like this to let it pass. Well, they disappeared right in front of us. And of course, our camera didn't pick it up. So only one time ever have I caught a shadow person.
So they're like up the wall.
Yeah. It's weird because you always wonder if it's, is it just a slip in time? I could go on with theories forever because we'll see them for a second, they're gone. And every time I've seen an apparition, you see them for a second, they're gone. And your rational mind.
What's that shadow behind you?
Yeah. Wouldn't surprise me. Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me. No, my mother-in-law and father-in-law both passed.
If anybody's got possession behind him, it's this guy right here.
It's funny because if you look around my room, you clearly tell that I'm a collector, right?
Yeah.
Check this out.
So whenever I used
to show off the Annabelle and all that stuff.
Well, yeah. So there's Raggedy Annabelle back there in the back, right? But I have a lot of loose figures and stuff. Okay. But I also got like
oh well,
get me off big. But I also got them in boxes too. In one of my old apartments. Take me off big. I used to have them on the wall, like at Toys R Us, right? So whenever I'd have somebody over, usually a lady friend of the evening, if you know what I mean.
Wait, one that was paid?
No. Good Lord, no.
I'm just asking for a friend.
I'm a reseller. I'm a cheap ass. You know that. So before we went to bed, I'd be like, "Hey, look! If you hear like scratching in the middle of the night, they're just trying to get out. You don't have to worry about those, but the loose ones is the ones you have to worry about. Good night."
See, I've got a rogues gallery of loose toys, but they're mainly just like Jigglypuff and this little guy.
Aww.
Anything can have an attachment. I'm the person in my area that has to take when people use Ouija boards and they don't properly take care of them and close them. I'm the team member that takes them, I bind them, I bless them, I salt them, and I put them into a river underwater. So
like Jumanji.
Huh? Yeah.
Like Jumanji.
Yeah.
And then people walk by and they hear dum 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 dum.
Yeah.
That's the only scary one that I've got.
I love it. Yeah.
She pulls back and she runs at you.
My nuns are scary anyway.
Yeah, they are. But a friend of mine, John Zappis, is from the East Coast. And so he's family members with the Warrens. They were very, those of the Conjuring movies are based on their cases. So John is the funniest guy. So what he used to do is people send him haunted items. So he would bind them and bless them and salt them like I do. And then he would take them and throw them into the river. And the police had gotten reports that some guy was throwing this bagged item off a bridge into the river. So people thought he was like doing, something like with an animal or something.
Oh my God.
But he was like, no, it's a haunted doll, and you put rocks in it and you submerge it. So, but yeah, it's pretty funny. Don't burn it. Never burn it.
There's a famous picture in the UK that's kind of doing the rounds at the moment, and it's a picture where it's got like a history of people buying it and then being chased by a shadow person from it. And it's happened about 4 or 5 times, and people keep putting it on eBay. It's actually one of my eBay stories that I'm doing at the moment.
Yeah, it's the box.
Oh my God.
A Dybbuk box,
I haven't seen it. I don't want to look at it.
Yeah, Dybbuk boxes.
I got to look this up.
Are famous. Yeah, Dybbuk box is what it's called. And it's sealed.
Animal notes about each year.
Yeah, so Dybbuk, and I think it's spelled Dybbix, I think, Dybbuk. But yeah, it's said to house nasty spirits in it. But I've never seen one, so I've never experienced it, so I don't know. But when I hear stories from people, I don't poo-poo it away because, I've seen things. So, I will always
I had chili twice yesterday and White Castles today. Trust me. I know all about housing evil spirits. Trust me. I'm housing some nasty things right now.
Yeah, I had Taco Bell for the first time. Like,
Oh, poor thing. I'm so
that'll come
sorry.
back at you.
Oh.
That'll come back to haunt you. That's a
yeah, I've
haunting
never been able to
sure.
sit right since.
Oh, Buying Space said, have you ever experienced a decrease of activity on November 1st? So All Saints Day or whatever
No.
that is. I think.
No, and it's funny because I'm a Roman Catholic, so I go and I do Latin masses and stuff like that, and then I also get all of my items blessed from the monastery that's by us, and so I have it done in Italian, or excuse me, in Latin and English, and my friar friend will do the salt. He'll bless the salt for me, holy water for me, and then blessed St. Michael and St. Benedict. And I do that because I do home blessings for people. So then I can help them out. But no, at November 1st, it doesn't matter. This happens during the day too. I mean, it's not just this time of year. Ghost stuff happens more during the day than it does at night. The only reason we see it at night is because it's quiet. No, people are quiet. There's no phones ringing, the TV's off, and you hear it because it's quiet.
Yes. It was the middle of the afternoon when my granddaughter was like, hey, what's up? Somebody behind you. Yeah. It creeped me out on the one hand, and on the other hand, I'm like, man, the dogs aren't barking. I'm cool.
Well, see, I do hospice. Well, I haven't done it since the pandemic. And plus, after my granddaughter died, I had to take a year off. But that happened all during the pandemic. So I wasn't able to do hospice anymore. And now I take care of my husband, so I don't do it. But you see things, when you're sitting with people when they're passing, you see things.
What?
You know what? Oh, Kristen said, for some reason, my grandmother had a Ouija board. It was found after she died. My dad tried to burn it, and it wouldn't burn.
Do not burn them. If you think of something attached to that, right? Because even if I was using this bottle and I was saying, and I was like,
he's running comps.
Yeah. And if I say point to the right, for an answer, that's opening yourself up, right? People that use pendulums or anything, or a Ouija board, asking a question is opening yourselves up. So, yeah, we always tell people, do not burn a Ouija board. It has to go under running water. You have to bind it. You have to salt it. You have to bless it.
It's kind of funny you saying that because I don't know if we should talk about this publicly or what. You know what? I think I'll say that for backstage.
Okay.
What's that?
Nothing.
We'll talk about backstage. It's even extra.
Oh, Myra said check out Myra's. Myra said I burned one and the flames were so high.
Yeah, a lot of people do. I mean, if you think
I'm assuming you're talking about a Ouija board.
Yes. Yeah.
Not the aftermath. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I've had things follow me home before. So it's, how can something not be attached, right? Because you're talking to them, you're engaging with them. So.
But, I think there's please correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm only going off.
No, I'm joking.
I'm not a professional. Okay. But a lot of people are always under the assumption that it's always bad. It's always an evil. It's always, and that's not the case. Correct.
Correct. I always tell people, if you're a jerk in life, you're going to be a jerk in death. And that's what we find out. As a lot of these times we go and get EVPs and we'll do the investigation, and then we'll find out from them that they think it's their uncle and he was a real jokester. And that's, things are disappearing. Or if you get weird sayings. No, totally. That at least our theory, it's all theory anyways. We can't prove it. And that's what we try to do. But in our opinion, no, you're right.
Rose, are you over there spraying holy water in the background? Is that what you were doing? I saw the.
Oh no, it was a fly. It was just a little fly. I was like, get away.
It's interesting
that you brought up. That's how it started in Amityville Horror.
It's interesting that you brought up things disappearing. So this happened to me, I want to say 2 Fridays ago.
Biggest kick.
Right.
2 Fridays ago, this happened to me, right? I lost my car key. Could not find it. Okay. To the point that I was 45 minutes late to work, could not find it. Right. So I'm upstairs, I'm downstairs, I'm in all the usual spots, and Glenn will tell you when she pops back in. I have this unique habit of being able to pull things. Like you guys will be talking about something, I'll just happen to have that like right next to me, right? She calls it the Mary Poppins room or whatever.
Right.
But I usually have something like right on. That being said, I have a good idea where I put things. Okay. And the Camry's key, well, I mean, the Camry's near and dear to my heart. Veronica said on the off chance that something happens to the Camry while she's driving it, make sure she's dead because, she doesn't want me bringing it up 30 years down the road. So right. Camry's important. I know where her key is. Could not find this key for the life of me. Right now on this table right here, in fact, you'll see there's my work laptop, right?
Right.
And there wasn't anything on it like there is now. So at the 45-minute mark, I move the laptop. I pick up the laptop. And as I'm moving the laptop, now mind you, I've already picked it up. I physically have it in my hand. I move it. My thumb hits the key. It's right on top of the laptop.
It happens. A lot of
that was right on that desk.
Yep.
Now, in my defense, and people will attest to this. Everybody that knows me knows this. Patrick Murphy does have but pay attention. So there is that. So, but the fact that I actually picked it up and was moving it and then felt it, like, oh, hey, there's my car key.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff. We get a lot of reports like that. Yeah, they'll be like, I put my car keys down, I turn around, I went into the other room, came back, and they were gone. And, we can all say, yeah, we're all getting old, whatever. But it happens consistently. In almost all of our cases, that happens when there's like a jokester or somebody that is just a jokester. It's weird.
That kind of happened to me with my with my cell phone. I couldn't find it and I had to call it, and it wasn't really anything to do with spirits, but it was just me. I accidentally left it in the fridge. I was completely sober.
I would do. Oh, yes, I snapped so hard.
I had it in my hand and I was picking something out and I must have just put it down and.
Oh my God.
That is beautiful.
But it was a total kind of like, one of those moments where it's literally your brain just switches off. The rational kind of like that. And I must have just put it in there and hours. I was like, well, not hours. I was like, for ages, I was like, where is it? Where is it? And I can just ring it. So I rung it and I was like, where's it coming from?
The refrigerator ringing.
Oh, that's funny. We were in, yeah. There
so
you go.
This is the Camry's key.
Right.
Okay. It is black.
Key. That's kind of hard to miss. Yeah.
The laptop
I thought you were talking
silver.
about a single silver little key. Yeah.
No.
Oh, dang.
So yeah, when I found it, like I said, my thumb hit it like right here.
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
Strange.
Yeah. I know we had that happen, but we were at Ohio State or Mansfield, Ohio State Reformatory Prison. Love it. One of my favorite places. So I was in solitary confinement for an hour. It was fantastic.
Wait, let's do a solo layout so you can tell us the ghost story. Okay, tell us the ghost story.
So I'm in solitary confinement. I had my recorder, which is just a little Radio Shack. I use the old equipment. I don't like the new stuff. It just has too many buttons on it. And so I laid it down next to me and it was recording, but I couldn't find it. And it's pitch dark, but we have flashlights. We always have flashlights. And so I'm having this conversation with myself because you got to remember, ghost hunters, we're talking to the air, right? We're not, usually don't get responses. So I was like, oh man, nothing happened. I couldn't find my recorder, couldn't find it. It was on the floor underneath. There's two, they had two beds, metal beds on top of each other. And I was sitting on the top one and it was all the way in the back. So luckily someone else had come in and found it. And then we listened to the recorder and you can hear this guy going, just talking to me, just having a conversation with me. I had no clue that it was going on. And then I had my hair pulled because we bring trigger objects. So we're up in the attic. We brought a little bottle of whiskey. We brought a packet of Marlboro and a lighter. And we sat down, we're asking questions. And I had my back to these gates. There's 3 gates in the back. And I'm sitting there and my hair got pulled like this. I mean, tough. And it actually moved my chair. And I was like, that's not very nice considering I brought you smokes and some whiskey. It was like, It was crazy.
I mean, it was a prison though, right?
Yes. We know what we're getting into when we go to prison.
So, yeah, I'm just saying in a prison, that would happen in a prison anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, come here, babe.
They're my favorite place to go.
That I think I heard like I think if you die in a prison, your spirit is meant to stay there.
That's what
it
a
stays
lot
there
of people
forever.
think.
Oh,
right. Because
Is that not true?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, there are no experts.
Be right. My retirement plan. I just thought, you know, when I get too ratchety for my family to take care of me, I'll go shoot somebody
Right.
and then go to prison, and then that way I'll get 3 hots and a cot until I die.
Yeah.
But if I have to stay there throughout eternity, that's kind of another raw deal.
Yeah. I mean, I always say, you know, when I go, I am not staying in this house or where I die. I'm going to Cancun or somewhere. I'm going to the beach, you know, yeah. I'm going to Paris. I'm going to see my kid in Japan. You know, I'm going somewhere.
Sprinkle my ashes in Vegas.
Yes, right. Exactly.
I mean, I could just live there. You need to come to Pea Patch Island, Fort Delaware.
I love the East Coast.
Sounds haunted.
Love it. The East Coast is so fantastic for that.
Cameron said, who's virtually holding my hand for this scary story? And I said, I'm here for you, sunshine. And then Patrick does this.
But yeah,
I didn't say it was my hand. I just said bloody hand.
Right. Jennifer said, if you go down in the tunnels, it's haunted.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It doesn't surprise me one bit. You know, a lot like Fort Mifflin is out in that area. Those kind of places, you think about the trauma that happened there. And how can there not be something there?
Well, Deb, aren't you over in Alton too?
We go to Alton, Mineral Springs.
You're one of the like the most haunted, crappy places.
Yeah.
Like
Mineral Springs Hotel is in Alton, Illinois. It's about 5 hours from me because I'm up in the western suburbs. I'm 30 minutes from Chicago. So, but yeah, we go down there and that place is crazy. It's great.
That's so strange. There's a place called Alton Towers, and that's it's like the big kind of like theme park, right? I'm trying to think of an equivalent. Do you have, is it something Flags or Six Flags?
Yeah,
or something
Six
like
Flags.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's like a chain, isn't it? Well, this is like just the big one. There's only like one Alton Towers.
Right.
And it's built on an old manor, and it's very, very haunted. Apparently, they actually created a couple of rides based off some of the old stories.
Nice.
And it's freaky. People do ghost walks across there as well. And it's,
we have a town not too far from here that is all Indian burial mounds. So it's an island. It's an island.
Like the whole premise of Poltergeist.
Oh yeah, and it's all burial grounds around there, and every single house we've investigated, there are 4 different homes, all within I would say about 3-mile radius, and they're all crazy haunted. It's just like, wow. It's nuts. Yeah, Missouri State Penitentiary. I know I got to take Glamas with me when I go. We're trying to go next year.
I told you I come from a long line of white trash. Do you really think I've never been to the Missouri State Pen? I just haven't been after dark, but I know. It's the bloodiest 47 acres in America. Lots of riots and assaults. Sonny Liston learned to box there. Yes, he did. I've got a picture of him in my bathroom, actually.
Right.
He's haunting my bathroom right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm joking. The ghost of White Castle's past is haunting my bathroom right now.
Okay. I can tell you the freakiest thing that's ever happened to me was in Ohio. We were at don't laugh at the name. It's called Old Licking County Jail. Okay. So, I know, right? So we have crazy experiences there. And so we were there Memorial Day, and we were talking to the spirits and said, you know, thank you for your service. We don't care what you did in your life, but we want to thank you because we're all military moms. So we're telling this, we hear this this noise. And so we all turn, and luckily I had a thermal camera. I'm going to have to find it. It's on my hard drive somewhere. And I caught a spirit coming out of a jail cell because we could hear walking, and then it went down the hallway. And so we leave there that night. We go back to the hotel to get a couple hours of sleep before we come back. Well, Deb gets felt up by an ice cold hand out of nowhere. There's 3 of us in the room just talking, and all of a sudden I get this right up my shirt, ice cold. I mean, if you thought about someone holding ice to you.
Yeah.
Right up. And I'll never forget it. And it was crazy. So then, of course I blessed the room
Some
after
post-mortem boner jockey was feeling you up, was like sexually assaulting you.
Yeah. So we found out that where that hotel was is where they used to have the gallows. And so it wasn't over at the prison, but down the street.
That doesn't give you permission to get on second base. I don't care if you're dead or not.
It was crazy.
Well, I mean,
this
might not be the appropriate thing to say, but I got new afterlife goals now. Thanks.
Yeah, your hands will be cold too, man. It is. It's always cold. I've been touched only once there, on the breast.
One yanked her hair. Scary. Yeah. That is scary. Yeah.
It is. It did. It freaked me out. And I was so mad because I brought him booze and smokes. It's like, come on.
Well,
you do and you do.
That might have they might have interpreted that as an invitation. I mean, any girl that brings me booze and smokes. I mean, I did have one girl back in the day that would only do anything with me when I was drunk. I mean, she took me to go get my booze.
Wait a minute. Was a millennial ghost? Because if it's a millennial ghost, maybe they felt entitled.
Hey, I'm a millennial.
I'm joking. I'm totally joking. Gen X has no feelings. Sorry. I have no feelings.
Yeah, we're kind of dead inside too.
Dodo wants to know, have you ever had physical things near you or to you?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Like move, I guess, move or be thrown at you or
I've never had anything thrown at me. I mean, the hair pulling is enough because that's like, I've been touched before, but I had
sorry
and good touching here in this house. It was about 1.5 years after we moved, and I was a really heavy smoker, and so at night when I went to bed, I'd drink some water, and I always sucked on gobstoppers because of dry throat. And so at that time I was on Ambien. So I started to fall asleep with all the gobstoppers in my mouth, and I got a smack across the face. Again, it was really cold, and I smelled my husband's mother's perfume. And so what do? I get up and I go, Phil, your mom's here. I'm like, she wants to talk to you.
Oh my God.
But she saved my life. So, but we don't ever call her or anything. She's at rest. They want to stop in. This was their house. They can stop in anytime they want, but we will never run equipment here. I would never do that. It's not my place. So we always say, if they want to come visit, fine. But I'm like, thank goodness she did. But we could smell her perfume. You couldn't miss it. It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go into solo layout for just a second.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, thank you all so much for being here tonight. Hopefully we'll be able to continue this chat in the back room with Deb and George and Patrick. And I've sent the link to a couple other people. So, but in the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful Halloween tomorrow. And I may go ahead and just hop back on. I told you I'm going to be rando lives all over the place. So I may hop back on in the morning tomorrow or tomorrow evening late. Oh man, Crossover Paranormal Society. Now they come in.
Cops.
Yeah. What's up, cops? Mwah. So just wanted to say, no matter who's haunting you, no matter where you go to get your good stories, never forget, don't you ever forget, Glamour loves you.